Alright guys, so today I wanted to talk about something that seems to hit me periodically, especially at this time of year. Yeah, definitely around, December, around the Christmas time period. I get this a lot, I've been living in Thailand for around 5 years. You may know that if you're familiar with this channel. And for whatever reason, there's a very specific reason why, but I always get really moody around December, really down. It's really hard to keep myself sort of feeling good and cheerful, which is sad because of the time of the year. But yeah, I think around Christmas time especially, I get real homesickness. It's probably the only time I experience real homesickness, where it's like a real deflation in mood, a real sort of missing of home and family and all that kind of thing. So I thought we could talk about that a little bit today. I thought we could talk about homesickness and when it springs up for me and some of the things that I do to sort of try and remedy that. I think it's actually pretty useful for me to sort of look into it and reflect on some of the things that I do that make me feel less homesick, and maybe I can start to increase them myself and maybe give you a few ideas. Maybe you live abroad too, maybe you feel down like me at this time of year, so maybe this could be useful for you. Maybe some of the things that I do maybe you've not thought of, and I'd love to get some feedback from you. If you do live abroad and you have your own remedies for homesickness, then yeah, definitely let me know in the comment section, because I could use all of the solutions I could get right now. So what is homesickness? This is a definition I found. Homesickness is a feeling of sadness or longing for familiar people and places, often experienced when someone is away from home or separated from loved ones. It is a common experience, especially for those who have moved away from home or are living abroad. Homesickness can manifest in a variety of ways, such as feeling lonely or isolated, missing the comforts and routines of home, or experiencing a sense of longing for familiar surroundings. Homesickness is a normal and natural response to being away from home and can be experienced by people of all ages. It is generally considered a transitory experience, and most people are able to eventually adjust to living away from home and learn to cope with homesickness. However, for some people, homesickness may be more persistent or severe and may require additional support or intervention to manage. I do remember when I first moved here, vaguely, like it was quite a while ago now, back in 2017, and I do remember that those first couple of months were really rough. I got real, serious sort of homesickness, panic attacks, really missing home, really sort of terrified of what I'd done, and the sort of situation I found myself in. The place felt very alien, very foreign, obviously, because it was foreign, very foreign to me. I didn't understand a lot of things, had a lot of questions, didn't know what to do in many cases, was extremely worried and pretty anxiety ridden, to be honest. So I do remember how severe it was, and it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that, sort of initial impact and shit, what am I doing? But yeah, so if you've just got here, then maybe you're experiencing something much worse than what I'm describing. But I still do get annually, and some other random occasions as well, and I'll start missing home, but especially around December. It's really hard for me to get in a sort of bubbly mood. I seem to spend the whole of December kind of moody, a little bit moping around. And that's yeah, I'm pretty sure it's homesickness. I think it's missing that tradition. I mean, it's 30 degrees here. It is rainy season, but it's still red hot. It doesn't feel like Christmas. Christmas isn't a national holiday here. So you're not even guaranteed time off work if you are working out here. Fortunately, I do actually work at a Catholic school. I've worked at Catholic schools throughout my whole time here in Thailand, so I've always got a Christmas break. But yeah, if you don't work at a Catholic school, I have lots of friends who don't work at Catholic schools, who work at different schools, and they don't even get a holiday. They maybe get 1 day if they're lucky, and then maybe a couple of days for New Year. Again, if they're lucky. I think the Western New Year is actually a Thai public holiday, although I'm not 100% sure on that, because their New Year is actually in April, called Songkran. But yeah, they do celebrate the Western New Year also. But that is beside the point. I mean, I'm from a Catholic family in the UK, so obviously Christmas is a pretty big deal for us. Every year we'd get together as a big family and all share Christmas dinner together. In fact, I'd probably have 1 or 2 Christmas dinners. One with friends, one with my dad's family, then one with my mum's family. And all the family gets together. It's always been, I have a ton of memories from this time of year. It's always been a massive celebration. Actually, one of my aunties used to own a pub in the UK, so often we would go, especially when I was younger, one of the rooms or the pub would be closed for Christmas, and we'd all just meet up in the pub and have our Christmas dinner there. Obviously there's a lot of tables and all that kind of stuff, so it was a real fun, a real family orientated time of year and holiday. and it still is for them in the UK. I've not been able to get back there for 5 years, so I've not actually been in the UK and celebrated Christmas terribly well since then, to be honest. Mainly because I only get a week at Christmas typically. Like it's not a big holiday at all. It's in a sort of awkward time, in the middle of term time, for the Thai school year. So it's you're not going to get a long holiday, or I never have. So it'd be really tricky to go back all the way to the UK just for 1 week. It wouldn't seem worth it. So yeah, hopefully in the future I'll get back. I really miss a lot of the family traditions. Miss the Christmas markets that happen in Manchester. Miss the cold weather, the snow. Maybe I go home and get it's snowy and rainy, and I wish I was back in Thailand. But when you the grass is always green on the other side, and yeah, I do have a lot of experiences, a lot of great memories from this time of year. So I do get a little bit down at this time of year. So I wanted to discuss that in this video. So yeah, that's what homesickness kind of is defined as, how I typically experience it. And like I say, it's nothing too bad. It's just kind of like a deflation for like an entire month, pretty much for me, or it seems to be. And not the entire month, just a few weeks, but yeah, especially now it's a little bit grim. All that being said, I thought I could share with a few things that sort of helped me, or I think helped me, or have helped me in the past, and that make me feel a little bit better, a little bit less like sort of homesick, especially specifically at this time of year. So hopefully you live in an area where you can get a Christmas dinner. I used to, I don't anymore. I have not found anywhere yet in the city I live now. Where I used to live, there were a few British pubs that did a Christmas dinner, and there were a few hotels actually, a few international big hotels that offered Christmas dinner. If you're someone like Bangkok or anywhere where there's a lot of tourists, you could definitely get a Christmas dinner, and you could celebrate Christmas with other foreign people who celebrate Christmas, and with Thai people who are choosing to celebrate Christmas also. So yeah, that's something that can help you feel less homesick, definitely. In the past, last year, when I was living in the city, and like I said, I couldn't find a Christmas dinner anywhere, I did my best to cook one at home, and like sort of doing the thing that you miss kind of makes you miss it a little bit less, kind of gets you excited, so it's really worth doing if you can. Maybe you struggle to find the foods. I couldn't find any turkey out here. I probably could if I'd have planned it a bit better. But I ended up just roasting a chicken. I don't really have a big oven or anything, so I wouldn't have been able to cook a turkey, to be honest, anyway. So that was a bit out of the question. But what I did do, I did manage to find some stuffing. I don't know if you know stuffing, but that's something we eat at Christmas. I was able to get some powders. I ordered them online. So if you're in Thailand, you could definitely jump on Lazada. That's where I get my British tea, my English breakfast tea. That's where I ordered the stuffing, gravy granules, all that kind of stuff. I also ordered some like Indian curry powders on Lazada as well. So yeah, definitely check out Lazada, or just look online. There's probably Facebook groups. There may even be a shop that specializes in foreign foods in your area. So again, look online, maybe ask around, and try and especially at Christmas time, try and involve yourself. But maybe you could celebrate Christmas in your own way, and maybe do it a little bit different. But yeah, do get some of the things from your home country. Maybe get some of the food, some of the drinks. You can usually find beers and wines from all over the world. So hopefully that wouldn't be too tricky, and you could partake in your own Christmas dinner. So I think that could help reduce some of the feelings of homesickness. It definitely does for me, especially when I used to live in the previous province where I lived. A lot of the foreigners would get together at Christmas. That was always a great fun thing. We would do like Christmas bar crawls, 12 bars of Christmas we used to call it. That was a lot of fun, and then we'd have a big Christmas dinner, or there was a few places where I could. Sadly I've moved to a new area, I don't know as many people. I've not really found that yet, hopefully I will. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy enough having Christmas dinner at home alone anyway. But yeah, if you can find the foods that you're familiar with, and that can help cure homesickness. And not just at this time of year. Sometimes, like I said, I buy the English breakfast tea online, and that's something that I drink almost every day. So that's something else that getting something familiar and finding the right sort of tea for you, and maybe it's a brand that you have to order online and pay double the price you would back home. But yeah, it could definitely be worth it and help you feel less homesick. Not only the food, when it comes to like gift giving, and again, this is for birthdays, not just Christmas. I think you can still partake in sort of gift exchanging, although it's challenging. You could send stuff from Thailand to the UK. That's pretty expensive, a little bit difficult. What I actually do, which is something I'll share with you because I think it's a pretty cool way of doing it. In the UK, I'd go on Amazon UK and find a gift on the website, and you can actually get it gift wrapped with a little card with a message on. So you can actually send a really nice gift from Amazon, or you could buy it from any company, but I just mentioned Amazon because they do actually gift wrap it really nicely. So you can do that for birthdays and Christmas. Services online like Moonpig. You can send birthday cards and Christmas cards directly from Moonpig. You don't have to post them all the way from Thailand. It's pretty hard to find birthday cards actually. People don't really do that here. So, but you can do it online and then order them everywhere. Maybe this is pretty obvious to you, but in case it isn't, this is a way that I still feel involved in birthdays and Christmases by sending cards and getting gifts on Amazon sometimes. So yeah, that's an option for you also. And speaking on technology, obviously, that's all available online. Also available online is sort of video calling and getting involved with Christmas that way. So you could definitely take your phone out and zoom in, Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever you use. You can video call your family, video call your friends, and make yourself do that. Make yourself do it, especially on big events and big holidays and times where you're feeling homesick. I try and make it a routine to sort of video call home weekly if I can, if I remember to. I try and contact my friends. You can use Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and you can video chat on nearly every platform these days. So that's a really cool way that technology enables you to feel less homesick also. So that's something that I would obviously encourage. Probably pretty obvious. Just something else off the top of my head that made me think how I reduce that kind of feeling of homesickness. Probably the best thing you can do, this is just in general, to avoid feeling homesickness, is find your own, make new friendship groups, make new families potentially. But yeah, definitely make new friendship groups, definitely seek out new friendship groups. There could be foreigners, other expats living in the same area as you, or with local people. I try and play football a couple of times a week. I'm actually on 2 teams. One team's majority foreigners, one team's majority Thai people. So that's really cool because I have 2 sort of new friendship groups, which definitely is something that I don't just do over Christmas. That's all year. I try and play football with them. That's something that really helps. If I don't play football for a few weeks, maybe I'm on holiday or something, I miss it massively. And being active, having sort of mates that you see regularly, that's something that really helps with those homesick feelings that can crop up now and then. Definitely something that helps improve my sort of overall mood and all that kind of thing. So maybe that's the exercise also, but I think it is, if you can get involved in a sport and that is a group sort of sport, then it is potentially even better than just doing sport. I think in this scenario, when you're trying to reduce sort of loneliness and isolation and all that kind of stuff, definitely if you can't, then definitely do jogging, exercise, working out, go to the gym. You'll make lots of friends at the gym. I've made lots of friends when I used to work out at the gym. I work out at home now, but if I didn't play football weekly, I would definitely join the gym, even though I prefer to work out at home, just because there is that social element to going to a gym that I actually do really miss. So exercise and sports teams are all great ways to sort of feel less isolated, less lonely. Another thing you can look for is just any group, anything, any activity that seems to happen, especially if it's something like weekly. I feel like that's a lot better. I feel like that getting in some routine, getting with a new group is really beneficial. We have trivia nights, so pub quizzes happen around Thailand. I'm not a really big fan of this, but I've been to plenty before. Sometimes I'll go along, and oftentimes it's foreigners organising a pub quiz or a trivia night at a bar. That's something that you could do. Oftentimes they'll do weekly trivia nights, maybe once per month or whatever. But yeah, that happens a lot in Thailand. So again, look on Facebook, look online, see if you can find those events that are taking place, or any other kind of games night, or whatever you're into. Golf, there's a lot of golf courses now in Thailand, so maybe you could get into that and get a group going for that. I definitely recommend you trying to sort of start something that's sort of regular and is out there with people, and obviously that's going to make you feel less isolated, less alone, especially at these times of year. So maybe you feel all right for the rest of the year, but then you've got that friendship group, that activity, that game, that trivia night that gets you through sort of the holiday seasons where you might otherwise be feeling a little bit down and lonely. So that is my experience with dealing with homesickness. Like I said, if you have any advice for me, then I'd definitely appreciate it. Maybe you found something that really helps you. Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to get a long list of things. Maybe we could put those together in another video. Because I think this topic is actually kind of valuable in a way. I definitely notice a decrease in my mood, specifically around this time of year. So maybe you do too, and maybe you have found some solutions I didn't think of. So I'd love to know what those are for you. If you're interested in living in Thailand long term like I do, then I did make a video about that recently, and I'll leave a link to that video on the screen right here, it should be right here. So yeah, click that video just there if you want to know how you can potentially too stay in Thailand long term.